Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. Let's talk about that combo orthopedic practice opportunity. And again, I've been fully into my podcast lately and I found some real winners where finally orthodontists are thinking clearly. And I know that a lot of orthos listen to my channel. That's great. I don't mind. Go for it. I'm totally on your team. So in the last video I just posted a few minutes ago, I alluded to the fact that I have in my mind, I have an opportunity if I do decide to go back into full-time practice, what I'm looking for in terms of my opportunity. And by the way, this would be in the state of California, at least for starting in 2027. I'm putting it out there, my secret sauce, what I want, because I'm hoping, I mean, first of all, if you're not in the state I want to go to, then great, make this opportunity because this is my business model. I'm telling you my business model. I don't even care. So go for it. I'm hoping that some smart pediatric dentist who has a license in California and is willing to open a practice, ideally in the top half, doesn't have to be north of San Francisco, but you know, top north of San Luis Obispo, not south of there, is willing to go in with me. So that's why I'm putting it out there. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. So, but this would be starting in 2027 or later. Anyways, okay, so this is my business model. And this was literally reiterated by these people in the podcast, and they're like, this is what they're doing. I'm like, that's exactly what I'm planning to do. So if y'all are pediatric dentists and you want to get ahead of this, or general dentists, I'm going to let you know what people are starting to do. And they realize the secret sauce. So first of all, like I said in the last video, they are realizing that your staff isn't sticky anymore. Listen to the previous video about staff not being sticky and how it changes your menu of services and compliance-based mechanics and starting things earlier and starting phase one for the harder compliance-based mechanics, myo, and habits. So they're starting to start cases earlier and they're bundling them all into one big package. They're not just doing phase one. So y'all pediatric dentists, you're just doing phase one. And those of you who aren't, you're done, to be honest. So that's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. If you are not doing full-on phase one treatment as a pediatric dentist, you're done. So you are losing just massive amounts of revenue, and it's not hard. And if you pick the right stuff and do the right treatment plans, and it's almost always in most states completely assistant-based, the chair time. I mean, it is just profitable. The parents want to be there, the kids want to be there. It's a happy time. Dum-dum. Plus, you get an easy breezy phase two out of it if you want to do that, and the siblings. Okay? So anyways, just if you want to learn how to do it, I have a course. It's 13 CE units. You can go to straightsmilesolutions.com. It's only $549. I price it as cheap as possible. And yes, you get CE units. So anyways, go into that. And then of course you need to get a scanner, ideally an iTero, and just start scanning everyone in your practice. And poof, you will have a lot of revenue in your practice and it'll be fun and you'll love it. And you'll wonder why you didn't do it before. And please do not limit it to only easy cases. This is the whole point, is that we're fixing the hard stuff early. It's not hard unless your kid is syndromic or a cleft patient. There is no reason you should be able to take every single phase one case in your office. Of course, if it's a bratty kid or a bratty family, no, it's all based on the kid and the family. So, okay, so I have a lot of other content on that, so I'm not going to go into that. The thing is, orthos and pedos are meant to be in practice together, and obviously I work with Rishi Popat. He's a part of the Straightsmile Solutions team, not directly, but indirectly. He has an ortho-pedo practice. He figured this out and he started the ortho and the pedo at the same time. So he was the ortho, he brought in a pedo. So you can do it that way, or a pedo can bring in an ortho. It doesn't really matter, but it's always better that if you are the pediatric dentist, I would strongly recommend that you don't bring in an independent contractor or an associate, because if the ortho up and leaves, which will happen if they have skin in the game, it's just a matter of time, you're going to get stuck with all those hard cases. And it's going to be a lot harder for you to replace the orthodontist to do that kind of treatment plans without costing you a ridiculous amount of money, because not all orthodontists do the same. I mean, it's almost impossible to find someone that thinks like you do, that isn't going to come in and make all the patients upset by changing the treatment plans. Any office I go into, if I'm taking over an office, is, it's tricky. Because any office I go into, even if we're pretty similar and we were trained in the same school, we're going to do things different. I'm going to look at this case and I can't do it this way. This isn't going to work right in my hands. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change the appliance. So it's going to cost, we're going to have to do Invisalign. It's going to be costing a lot more in fees. I'm talking like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 just to get new products, new services, get them up. It's just how it is. You're going to have to do that. It's anytime a doctor changes, it's going to cost ridiculous amounts of money. unless you have some type of contract in the old doctor where they have to finish all their cases. But then there tends to be attitude, and sometimes they just can't. I mean, and those are very hard to be enforceable on your end. You know, if something happened to them and they got sick or injured, they had to move, how are they going to do this, right? So you can't really enforce that. You're going to be stuck finishing those cases or finding someone to finish it, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. Don't do that. Okay. So unless you're going in as partners where they have skin in the game and they have to finish, you know, obviously they're going to stick around. Remember, partners, this is like a marriage. So you have to be very careful with who you pick, right? So that's what I want to say. It's almost better if you start them up together, or if it's an ortho office that brings in the pedo, because it's a lot easier for you as an orthodontist to get pediatric dentists in, and because, you know, a filling is a filling, and it's more short-term procedures, not long treatment plans. So it's easier to replace the pediatric dentist than it is to replace the orthodontist. So that's what I'm getting at. So orthos are bringing pedos in. The problem with orthos bringing pedos in is that the layout of the practice isn't really pedo compatible unless you've built it that way. You've built it with, you know, independent bays and surgical suites for crying and all that. The ortho bay is not plumbed usually for a full-on pedo practice. So it really has to be strategy. You have to strategize this at the beginning, how you're going to lay out and set up this practice, which is why a lot of DSOs and OSOs have ortho and pedo, and they run it really well. So, and the ortho offices I worked at that were most successful always had pedo in them. I mean, it's just so easy. There's always butts in the chair. You just walk around and screen everyone for ortho. You know, and if you miss them, you get them next time. But everyone's screened for ortho every 6 months, and they just do their ortho there, and it's super, super easy. So that's what I'm getting at. That's how you do a combo ortho-pedo practice. And just be careful if you're a pediatric dentist, because the orthos are realizing this, and they're jumping on it, and they're doing it the other way around, and you guys are going to lose your opportunity. So make sure you learn ortho. All right, take care.